Here she is, my new baby. So why a Mitsubishi Galant? A couple of decades ago, I was born in a magical place called New Zealand. New Zealand has one of the coolest car scenes in the world. They had a really massive grey import scene over there, which meant that they got all these really cool Japanese imports, and their importing laws were nowhere near as strict as Australia's or anywhere else really. And that's why New Zealand had such a cool car scene. You'd see Skylines, Supras, Chasers, the whole lot. But for me as a child, the Galant is what stuck out. Those of you who've known me for a while would have heard me talk about Legnums for a very long time. In fact, my school laptop from over half a decade ago, the background of that was actually pictures of Mitsubishi Galants and Legnums. So it just shows that this has kind of been something I've wanted for a while. I'm also someone who really loves wagons and hatchbacks. That's why a Legnum had been in my sights for years and years. I ended up going with the Galant because I got a great deal on it. I took it for a drive and it blew my mind. So this particular Galant is a year 2000 Type V, meaning it's the base model. The biggest drawback to this car being a Type V base model is that it doesn't come with AYC, Mitsubishi's active yaw control. I'm personally not too bothered by that at all. AYC is also its own pump setup, which requires maintenance and service, and it is also heavier and it adds weight to the car. My variant of the Mitsubishi Galant is actually the lightest you can get in its 8th generation form. So it's a sedan as opposed to the Legnum, which is a wagon, and that in itself saves about 50 kilos. Because it's the base model, it doesn't come with active yaw control, and that in itself saves about 20 kilos, and it's a manual instead of an auto, which saves another 40 kilos. So all in all, we're saving about 110 kilos on a fully spec'd Mitsubishi Legnum Type S. That's no small figure, especially when both these cars are sharing the same engine and drivetrain. So let's get to the car. First things first, the paint is not stock, so it's been fully resprayed. It's a black with some subtle green flake effect inside it, but I don't know what the color code is. It looks great. The only problem is there's a little bit of clear coat fade going on, so we're going to polish it up. And there's also some orange peel, which, you know, I don't really mind too much. It's mainly the oxidization that I want to take care of. So a good cut and polish will take care of that. We've got these wheels. These are off Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 8. So they're factory Enki Mitsubishi wheels. But the thing is, they look so clean on the Galants and Legnums because that fitment is so flush. So yeah, I love these wheels, and I'll probably keep them for a while because they look great and it kind of sticks with that Mitsubishi heritage. So these are 17 by 8 plus 38 offset, I believe. And the tires are a set of RE003s, 235/45, of course R17. And you know, part of the reason people run these on their Galants is to be able to fit those beautiful red Evo 8 Brembos underneath the wheels, and that's the case here. So we've got Evo 8 Brembos on all four corners with slotted rotors. As for the exhaust system, we've got a Magnaflow muffler, and I believe that the catback is just a custom exhaust that's been fabricated at an exhaust shop somewhere. It's got an upgraded front mount intercooler, which is always handy. So we take a look under the hood, and as explained in my previous video, we've got a V6 twin turbo engine with a 2.5 litre displacement, and we've got a Grimspeed 3-port boost controller. You know, I don't really know much about what's been done to this car at all, because the guys I bought it off didn't do any of this stuff, and they didn't seem to know about much of what had been done, so I've got to figure all of that out. But Yeah, so the bigger front mount intercooler and the 3-port lead me to believe that this has been tuned and the boost has been upped, so it definitely feels fast, but it would be nice to see how much boost it's running and eventually get it on a dyno to accurately measure its power figures. If I had to hazard a guess, I'm gonna say it makes about 150 at the wheels maybe. We've got MCA purple coilovers up the front. I haven't checked, but I'm pretty sure that's what's been run at the back too. It's got an awesome alarm and immobilizer fitted to it, which is an absolute must on these old Japanese cars. Even the Integra has an alarm and immobilizer fitted. Obviously that didn't stop someone from stealing the front lid, but they didn't get away with the car, which is great news. This also has a full sound system fitted to it. I'm not sure what the speakers are, but I can tell they're better than stock. It's got an older doubled-in head unit fitted with a reverse camera, and if we take a look in the boot, we've got a big fat subwoofer. We've also got a turbo timer. I think that's a cool feature to have. It's a cute little gimmick. And this car also came with a Hi-Vis Dash. So the headlights aren't actually on, but it's got this really beautiful illumination. The needles are glowing and the cluster has got this like pure brilliant white. So this is illuminated all the time like this, and when the headlights go on, it actually just puts that light on the side there. So this dash didn't actually come in the base models, but in the year 2000 they decided to actually include this in all their models, which explains why this base model has the Hi-Vis Dash. And I think that's a really cool feature because you're looking at it a lot and it's just eye candy, pure eye candy. And there you have it, my new to me Mitsubishi Galant, which I've already fallen in love with, even though I've barely had the opportunity to drive it properly. So, a few of you may be wondering what this means for the mighty Integra. Fear not, because I am keeping that thing. I am so attached to it. You know, there was a time last year I actually put it up for sale and I just had to take it down. It got a bit of interest, but I couldn't say goodbye to it. And that sentiment kind of remains still, even though I've got a new car too. And the reason for that is the Galant can't fill the void that the Integra would leave behind. These cars are like, comparing these cars would be like comparing apples and oranges. They are so different to each other because at the end of the day, even though the Galant, you know, it feels great, it's fast, it's on really nice stiff coilovers, it's got sporty tires, it's not a twisty machine. You know, it's not made for the mountains. At the end of the day, it's a Japanese super cruiser. It's got really good torque and power for those open roads, but the Integra weighs 360 kilograms less than this car, and it's just got that Honda purity to it. As someone who owned only a Honda Integra, you know, it's easy for me to say, oh, it's made for the corners, it's got that NA purity. Now that I have a boosted car and I've driven that, I can confirm it. Like, the Integra is a whole different beast on its own. So yeah, that's why I'm keeping both. I got the Integra as the first car to really just learn some mechanical skills, and you guys have seen that, so it'll remain as that kind of canvas for me to learn on. There you go, guys. I am beyond ecstatic about this car. I'm in love with it, and I'm really glad that I can share my excitement with you all. Thanks so much for watching the video. I hope you liked it. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one.
You say you got them guns, but I've never seen you